The Path of Purification, Visuddhimagga, or Bhattanta Charya Buddhaghosa, published by Buddhist Publication Society, Kandy, Sri Lanka. Part 2, Concentration, Samadhi. Chapter 4, The Earth Kasina. Extracts, passage 139 to 152.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
The second jhana. And at this point, with the stilling of applied and sustained thought, he enters upon and dwells in the second jhana, which has internal confidence and singleness of mind, without applied thought, without sustained thought, with happiness and bliss born of concentration. And so he has attained the second jhana, which abandons two factors, possesses three factors, is good in three ways, possesses 10 characteristics, and is of the Earth Kasina. Herein, with the stilling of applied and sustained thought, with the surmounting of these two, namely, applied thought and sustained thought, with their non-manifestation at the moment of the second jhana, is what is meant. Herein, although none of the states belonging to the first jhana exist in the second jhana, for the contact, etc., in the first jhana are one, and here they are another. It should be understood all the same that the phrase, with the stilling of applied and sustained thought, is expressed in this way in order to indicate that the attaining of the other jhanas, beginning with that of the second from the first, is effected by the surmounting of the gross factor in each case. Internal. Here one's own internal is intended, but that much is actually stated in the Vibhanga too with the words internally in oneself. And since one's own internal is intended, the meaning here is this: born in oneself, generated in one's own continuity. Confidence. It is faith that is called confidence. The jhana has confidence because it is associated with confidence, as a cloth has blue color because it is associated with blue color. Or alternatively, that jhana is stated to have confidence because it makes the mind confident with the confidence possessed by it, and by stilling the disturbance created by applied and sustained thought. And with this conception of the meaning, the word construction must be taken as confidence of mind. But with the first mentioned conception of the meaning, the words of mind must be construed with singleness. Here is the construction of the meaning in that case. Unique, eka, it comes up, udeti. Thus it is single, ekodi. The meaning is, it comes up as the superlative, the best, because it is not overtopped by applied and sustained thought. For the best is called unique in the world. Or it is permissible to say that when deprived of applied and sustained thought, it is unique, without companion. Or alternatively, it evokes udayati, associated states. Thus, it is an evoker, udi. The meaning is it arouses. And that is unique, eka, in a sense of best. And it is an evoker, udi. Thus, it is a unique evoker, ekodi, single. This is a term for concentration. Then, since the second jhana gives existingness to bhavati, augments this single thing, it gives singleness, ekodi bhava. But as this single thing is a mind's, not a being's or a soul's, so singleness of mind is said. It might be asked, but does not this faith exist in the first jhana too, and also this concentration with the name of the single thing? Then why is it only this second jhana said to have confidence and singleness of mind? It may be replied as follows. It is because that first jhana is not fully confident, owing to the disturbance created by applied and sustained thought, like water ruffled by ripples and wavelets. That is why, although faith does exist in it, it is not called confidence. And there too, concentration is not fully evident because of the lack of full confidence. That is why it is not called singleness there. But in this second jhana, faith is strong, having got a footing in the absence of the impediments of applied and sustained thought, and concentration is also evident through having strong faith as its companion. That may be understood as the reason why only this jhana is described in this way. But that much is actually stated in the Vibhanga too with the words, confidence is faith, having faith, trust, full confidence. Singleness of mind is steadiness of consciousness, right concentration. And this commentary on the meaning should not be so understood as to conflict with the meaning stated in that way, but on the contrary, so as to agree and concur with it. Without applied thought, without sustained thought, since it has been abandoned by development, there is no applied thought in this or of this jhana. Thus, it is without applied thought. The same explanation applies to sustained thought. Also, it is said in the Vibhanga. So this applied thought and this sustained thought are quieted, quietened, still, set at rest, set quite at rest, done away with, quite done away with, dried up, quite dried up, made an end of. Hence, it is said, without applied thought, without sustained thought. Here it may be asked, has not this meaning already been established by the words, with the stilling of applied and sustained thought? So why is it said again, without applied thought, without sustained thoughts? It may be replied, yes, that meaning has already been established, but this does not indicate that meaning. Did we not say earlier? The phrase, with the stilling of applied and sustained thought, is expressed in this way in order to indicate that the act of attaining the other jhanas, beginning with that of the second from the first, is effected by the surmounting of the gross factor in each case. Besides, this confidence comes about with the act of stilling, not the darkness of defilement, but the applied and sustained thought. And the singleness comes about not as in excess jhana, by abandoning of the hindrances, nor as in the first jhana, with the manifestation of the factors, but with the act of stilling the applied and sustained thought. So that first clause indicates the cause of the confidence and singleness. In the same way, this jhana is without applied thought and without sustained thought, not as in the third and fourth jhanas or as in the eye consciousness, etc., with just absence, but with the actual act of stilling the applied and sustained thought. So that first clause also indicates the cause of the state without applied and sustained thought. It does not indicate the bare absence of applied and sustained thought. The bare absence of applied and sustained thought is indicated by this second clause, namely, without applied thought, without sustained thought. Consequently, it needs to be stated notwithstanding that the first has already been stated. Born of concentration, born of the first jhana, concentration, or born of associated concentration is the meaning. Herein, although the first jhana was born of associated concentration too, still it is only this concentration that is quite worthy to be called concentration because of its complete confidence and extreme immobility due to the absence of disturbance by applied and sustained thought. So only this jhana is called born of concentration, and that is in order to recommend it with happiness and bliss is as already explained. Second in numerical series, also second because entered upon second. Then it was also said above, which abandons two factors, possesses three factors. Herein, the abandoning of two factors should be understood as the abandoning of applied and sustained thought. But while the hindrances are abandoned at the moment of the access of the first jhana, in the case of this jhana, the applied and sustained thought are not abandoned at the moment of its access. It is only at the moment of actual absorption that the jhana arises without them. Hence, they are called its factors of abandoning. Its possession of three factors should be understood as the arising of the three, that is, happiness, bliss, and unification of mind. So when it is said in the Vibhanga, jhana, confidence, happiness, bliss, unification of mind, this is said figuratively in order to show that jhana with its equipment. But accepting the confidence, this jhana has literally three factors, core factors that have attained to the characteristic of lighting. According as it is said, what is jhana of three factors on that occasion? It is happiness, bliss, unification of mind. The rest is as in the case of the first jhana. Once this has been obtained in this way, and he has mastery in the 5 ways already described, then, on emerging from the now familiar second jhana, he can regard the flaws in it thus. This attainment is threatened by the nearness of applied and sustained thought. Whatever there is in it of happiness or mental excitement proclaims its grossness, and its factors are weakened by the grossness of the happiness so expressed. He can bring the third jhana to mind as quieter and so end his attachment to the second jhana and set about doing what is needed for attaining the third jhana. When he has emerged from the second jhana, happiness appears gross to him as he reviews the jhana factors with mindfulness and full awareness, while bliss and unification appear peaceful. Then as he brings that same sign to mind as earth, earth, again and again, with the purpose of abandoning the gross factor and obtaining the peaceful factors, knowing now the third jhana will arise, there arises in him mind door adverting with that same Earth Kasina as his object, interrupting the life continuum. After that, either 4 or 5 impulsions impel on that same object, the last one of which is an impulsion of the fine material sphere belonging to the third jhana. The rest are of the kinds already stated.